We always look at successful people and actually admire them, but have you ever taken a moment to listen to their stories? Today we have a very powerful story from a gentleman called DENIS Duke. We are going to share how did he move from working with the biggest media house in Uganda to quitting and doing his own things to becoming a successful entrepreneur. So join us as we go on this journey. So in this episode, we are here at the beautiful Aquarius Hotel in Chigo, and this has been booked by Victory Travel Center. So in case you want to enjoy any trips, staycations in Uganda and out of Uganda, it could be a solo trip. Maybe you've worked so hard and you just want to go rest. Victory Travel Center is the place for you. Or maybe you want to book a family trip. Reach out to Victory Travel Center. They have organized trips for both Uganda and out of Uganda, and trust me, it is a touch of perfection. Welcome back to this platform. My name is Marjorie Nantambi, and like we always say, we share personal growth and finances. But today we have a very powerful story. Remember in the previous video, we talked about what you do before you quit. And if you're ready to quit, what are you supposed to do? So today we have a very powerful story from DENIS Duke. I'm sure you've seen him before, right? You're just going to have a conversation because he is one of those people that quit from a very big media house. You know how you look at media houses in Uganda and you're like, I want to be there. But he was there and he quit. So we're going to get into the nitty-gritties of the story, what happened, how was he able to quit and then start a very successful enterprise. So you are welcome, DENIS Duke. Introduce yourself and then we can dive into the story.
Thank you, Marjorie. And thank you so much, our viewers, wherever you're watching from. Thank you so much. I hope you subscribe to this channel.
Yes.
Because this lady is very enterprising. She's one of those that I'm very proud of. But my name, like she said, I'm DENIS Duke, but originally DENIS Wonyala. So DENIS Duke is a name for making money, business.
The stage name.
Exactly. But my name is DENIS Wonyala. I am a Mugisu all the way from Blamboli. I grew up in Mbale.
Okay.
And then I came to Kampala. So now we are ruling Kampala.
Oh, we see you. We see you. So DENIS Duke, we just want to know, how has your journey been? Because, you know, sometimes people look at people successful maybe on the social media and all those things. And then maybe they feel like it has come easy for you. And people see you. You're one of the biggest YouTubers that we have in Uganda. One of the people that I know, the first YouTubers that were actually monetized, pay some dollars. But you're one of those people. And we've been watching you on your entrepreneurial journey, putting up businesses, real estate. So we just want to know, did it come easy? Did you start here? Where did you start? Let's go back to the beginning.
Before I even start, I want to let young people know that life is not a music video.
Okay.
You know, in a music video, the artist or the singer starts when he's, poor, and then within 2 minutes, he's rich all of a sudden. That's not how life is. Life is actually a journey. And the people you see on TV, the people you see successful, they have a story to tell that sometimes they don't get the audience to tell. Okay. I'll tell you that this is the second time I'm sitting down to share my story. The first time I was sharing it with Flavia Namlindwa, one of my best friends. So I shared this story with her. I've not gone anywhere else except now with you.
Wow. What an honor.
But taking you back, it's never been easy, right from childhood, struggling to get school fees. Growing up without parents was one of the hardest things I ever encountered. My parents died when I was little, 93. So literally around 20 or 30 actually, 30 years. 30 years. Yeah, this is 2023. Yeah. My dad died in 1993, so that's 30 years. So growing up without parents, my mom dies a year later, and then I was a total orphan. So it was very hard for me, but I thank God that the relatives that he gave me were very nice. They did everything they could in their power to ensure that I get all the basic needs that I needed. Of course, there were times you felt like, oh, okay, they've done it, but maybe there's this that I'm lacking. They should have done this. But again, you would certainly forgive them because they weren't as, rich, but they did whatever they could. So life has always been hard in the past. So I think because of that kind of life that I grew up in, I said, no, I have to change this. I knew I had no mother, I had no father, I had no sister or siblings. Of course, I have cousins who have been amazing. But what I mean is, I knew I had no fallback except God. So I needed to work very hard. So I studied primary, secondary. I was a very bright child. Jesus. That one, I'm proud of it. I think I thank God to have made that. Even today, I still consider myself one of the most creative persons. I can sit somewhere and think of an idea and execute it very perfectly because that is a God-given gift. Now, growing up, did my primary, secondary, and then I went to do my journalism course. So all the primary, secondary, I was in Bali. Was in Blambuli, then Bali for my O and A level. My primary was in Blambuli. Then after O and A level, I came to Kampala, where I did a course in journalism and mass communication.
And you saw that big post, welcome to Kampala.
Welcome to Kampala. It's not easy. Meanwhile, living in Kampala, it's not easy. Because this city demands, it has a lot of demands, expenses, bills, and so forth and so on. So I came to Kampala and then I started staying with my brother. And I wasn't working. So my brother did quite a lot within his capacity. He would give me money every day to go to school. I remember I paid my first tuition, even the second, the third. Yes. So I how did I pay? While I was, in Kampala, I was working in Bali before at a Total petrol station as a customer attendant. So when I came to Kampala, a friend to my sister, when I say my sister, these are my cousins, but I've grown to call them sisters. So So she refers me and then I get this job and then I start working as I'm going to school. I think working and schooling, oh God, I don't know. I would rather do something else because you know the story.
Yes, I do know the story.
I didn't tell you guys. I knew Marjorie, I think, about 7 years or 8 years ago. That was around 2014, 15. Yes, so around 7 to 8 years. And she used to see me where I was working from. So I used to work from morning till around 4. I would clock out and then go to school and then study up to around 8 or 9 sometimes. But every time I returned home, I would doze in the taxi because I would be extremely tired. Exhausted is that word actually. So we'd wake up at 6, go clock in, and then the job that I was doing required us to stand
the whole time.
It's not like in an office where you sit and chill a little bit. Here you stand, you're working with clients. The only break you take is where either you're having breakfast or you're having lunch. But seated, no. So it meant that you would leave when you're extremely tired. So I would go to class gladly. My lecturers understood my problem because I did explain to them that I was working. So even if I came in a little bit late, because sometimes you'd come in, they've probably moved like an hour or 30 minutes, but they would forgive you because they knew your situation. And then the school did understand me as well, because there are times when I didn't have school fees because maybe my salary hasn't, gotten to where I want it to be, but they excused me. I used to do the exams and then I would pay probably later, but that was a totally different arrangement. But I thank them to have understood me. So from there, I graduated around 2015, and then I went into formal employment. Formal employment, or I literally mean doing the things that I started. Yes. So that's how I go through the school. Then from there, in 2015, we graduated, and I'm like, no, I'm tired. Or not tired exactly, but I want to do exactly what I studied. And so I quit my former workplace, it was a Total, and I went into media. Now, penetrating into media, that one is not easy.
I can imagine, and I think someone is watching and they want to penetrate, but they don't know how to start. So
yes, so what I did, because I was hands-on while in school. I knew how to edit, I knew how to record a camera, I knew how to present. I wasn't as good as now. But then what I did was, with my friend Douglas, we went and shot a simple video of me anchoring news. I've wanted, previously when I was going into journalism, I wanted to work on radio, but I've never worked on radio. Even when people have requested me, oh, Dens, you have a nice voice, you could actually work on radio. I'm like, yeah, I wanted, but I gained passion for TV. Yes, so we did go into a studio, we recorded a short clip of me anchoring news. And then I wanted to use that to go to different TV stations to get a job. The first place I went to was...
Wait a minute. That's a good one.
Yes.
So you shot the video of yourself anchoring before you were actually hired?
Yes.
Wow.
What actually most people don't know, they are looking for jobs. No, they don't look for a job. First, I'm talking in the even in other sectors, show somebody that you can actually do this. Take, for example, lately, if I want somebody to give me an influencing gig, what I do is I get a product, I sample it for them, and then I put the contact, and then they call. So when people call and they tell, oh, I saw this from DENIS Duke's page, like, oh.
So they look for you.
So yes,
they look for me. I like it.
Or sometimes I even reach out to them and I'm like, it's okay, don't give me money first. Let me sample you.
Yes.
So before you know it, they're like, okay, how much? I'm like, $1 million shillings or so and so. It's something that I discuss later. But
that is awesome.
What I was driving to is, we recorded ourselves and I wanted to move with that recording to use it to get a job. So the first TV station, because I really wanted to work at NTV. So I went to NTV, and I remember I met this person whom I will not mention for their own reasons. But I met him or her, and then I showed them that, hey, look, this is what I can do. He was like, yeah, you have a nice voice. I don't speak this for any reason, but I've got a lot of compliments for my voice. And that for me was like, oh, he actually likes my voice. But he didn't give me the job though. He told me, you have a nice voice, a nice presentation. But you see here, we don't employ people who have not gotten a degree. I was like, okay, of course it was.
So what had you studied then?
I did journalism, but I did a diploma.
Oh, okay.
Yes. So telling me that, of course, it was a blow, because I thought, oh, he would maybe say, okay, let's see what happens, blah, blah, blah. You know, let me train you or something. He said, no, we can't employ you because you have a diploma. I was like, oh, okay. But then while I was walking out, I met who is now the minister, I think, for Karamoja Affairs and an MP, Agnes Nandutu.
Oh,
you know, she's a Mugisu. So she's like, oh, how did it go? Like, yeah, it went well, but they told me this. He said, Dennis, you see, don't get demoralized. You can actually be whatever you want to be.
Wow.
I know she can't remember those statements.
And you know, those are the words we are always looking
for. But they meant a lot to me because it showed me, number one, first of all, they had loved my voice. So I knew I had something.
Yes.
But I needed just to either work on myself or find where to start from and then raise. So she tells me, Dennis, find those small stations, go there, perfect your craft, they will look for you.
Wow. And so that's a tip right there.
Yeah.
That if you're looking at the big companies, you can get the small companies, get the experience.
Do your old manyanga there, because again, the world is not watching.
That's true.
So
and the small companies,
had I started from NTV or NBS or any media station that was at that peak, I would expose myself, probably expose all my inabilities or incapacities, because we all have those, but we develop over time. You say, oh, if this is my weakness, let me improve it. So if I had started with these media houses, probably I would not have, you know, the moment you start from top, you're bound to go down.
That's true.
You can't start a house from the rooftop. You start from a foundation. So find somewhere that you're going to do all your mistakes, learn, understand the project, understand the craft, and then later you rise. When you rise, you will honestly rise and stay on top.
That's true.
So from there, I didn't lose hope. I went to NBS.
So you are looking only at the big companies?
I don't know, but I've had this thing. I only work
for the best.
For the best. Yeah, because me, I want good things.
Yes,
You know me.
I know.
And that's the reason as to why I work hard.
Yes.
So I went to NBS.
So from NTV, you crossed to NBS.
Yes, I crossed to NBS.
Wow, only the big.
Yes, because I wanted them to consider me. So I went there. I met a lady called Eunice Nangwandi, something like that. But she's called Eunice. She's a very vibrant lady in the media industry. She's worked as a PR practitioner and so forth and so on. She welcomed me. But again, she wasn't in a position to hire. So she sent me to somebody else, which somebody else didn't hire me, but they actually tossed me around. But you know what is funny? When I was coming back to NBS, this same person is the one that hired me.
What?
And I wanted to remind them
of what they
did. Yes, because they tossed me around. I was like, but then when I came back, I was like, you know what? Yeah, it's
forget
okay.
The past.
It's okay. But in me, I'm like,
so now you're.
Do you know that I was actually here like a couple of years ago, and then you tossed me around? Yes. So I went to NBS and they didn't give me a job, of course, for their personal reasons. Yes. I said, it's okay. I took on Agnes Nandutu's advice. So within that few weeks that followed, I was called at the then WBS TV. And so they did welcome me as a sports anchor and reporter. In my entire life, I've never watched. Okay, not like giving it concentration. I've only watched maybe when somebody's watching, so I watch for by default.
Yes, but
it's not like every weekend I'm going to watch sports. No, I would rather go and watch a music concert because I love music, and that's why I've joined music.
Oh, nice! I saw you singing right now. I love it.
So I'm given a sports show to rather a sports position to anchor sports and then report. Okay. So I did work at WBS for a couple of months. Yeah. Even before I actually left before it shut down. But you see, working and then you're not paying, I wasn't paid for all the time I was there. For a couple of months. But I thank God that the people I met there were very friendly, welcoming, and they let me like being grow. Grow. Yeah, I remember a guy called Frank Ahesi. He was very, very vibrant. He would send me to the field, get me tips, go there, do this when I report. You get the point. Yes. Then there was another Chris Higenyi. He's now at NTV. He's one of the best guys that I know. Unfortunately, this country has not seen the best of him. I don't know if it has not, or they are yet to see it, but he's very, very talented. He has very good diction and so forth and so on, and I learned a lot from him. I remember a day after a couple of weeks there, we went to the field. And then I came a little bit late, but it was a very top story. I remember coming to my desk and I'm like, oh, Chris, so I want you to, he said, you've written a script, go and voice it. I was like, no, I thought you're going to, no. He believed in me because he knew I would write something good. Wow. And from the field, he didn't even look at the story. He said, go and voice it. We are taking it the way it is. Wow. And that was it for me. And because we were running short of time. So there were a couple of other people that were at WBS. Olivia Nakate, she's now at Bukede TV. They really welcomed me and they nurtured me. Loving the story? Hold it right there. Make sure you subscribe and hit the bell button because guess what? We are coming back with part 2 of this story. But before we go, we are here at the beautiful Aquarius Chigo, very beautiful rooms, the swimming pool, the spa, but all this is sponsored by Victory Travel Center. So if you want to book any trip, you want to book a staycation, reach out to Victory Travel Center and they'll get you this. So see you in part 2.